Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA, and I'm chopping it up with my boy Dan, MMA from the Heartland, and we're gonna recap UFC 212. What's going on, Dan?
Oh, not much, man. Just sleep and getting together after last night, and man, it was somewhat exciting. And I guess I'd say I was kind of disappointed in the Vitor fight as far as like action was concerned. But other than that, man, it was fun.
Honestly,
Kind of bummer we didn't get our stuff going. Man, that was starting out to be a lot of fun getting that going. But
yeah. I definitely want to apologize to everyone, like, off the top of this video about that. I tried to get it going. It was working, but it would work perfectly fine when I was just doing the live stream and not watching the fights. But as soon as the fight started, like, the stream would die on our end. So I think the way around that is, I know down at my house in New York, we have like a lot more internet and bandwidth. So I might just start doing it down there, give it a shot there. And
you're right.
or I might just try to figure some way around it over here. I got to figure something. I kind of fucked up on my part because I thought it'd be a lot more self-explanatory, so I didn't really take like a lot of time beforehand to look into it, So
Yeah.
I thought once I get the software, I could get it up and running, but it was a bit complicated. But yeah, so basically that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get live companions going with the fight. So I'm gonna try. I don't want to make any promises yet, but I'm going to try and have that going up very soon, especially before, like, all these big summer fights. But, yeah, man, so fucking Max blessed Holloway.
Did the damn thing.
Did the motherfucking damn thing.
It was a perfect performance on his end. I mean, you could. What more could you ask for? If you're gonna write a playbook on it, I mean, that's pretty much how you'd write it.
Like how we were talking about before, in the first round, he was looking really tentative. Both of them were just like kind of reading each other, but Max was throwing no feints. He wasn't switching his stances at all. He was looking he looked like he was way too self-conscious and aware. He wasn't flowing like how Max flows. And
he definitely looked a little nervous. Like he was, like you said, he wasn't flowing like his normal self. Like he just looked, I wouldn't say sluggish, but it just, I don't know. I think it was more of just a timing, feeling out thing, and just kind of, I mean, you get one shot at this, like in his mindset, I think he was just playing it safe that first round, just kind of taking it all in, feeling it out. And dude, the way that guy makes adjustments from round to round, it's a hard thing to do, but goddamn.
Yeah, like in the first round, Jose was looking like the best Jose Aldo we've seen in a while. He was how he was in the Frankie Edgar, just kind of like standing back, like planted, not really moving his feet, waiting to fire those shots. But it seems like he was a lot more effective this time because he was clipping Max up a bit in the first round.
Dude, he about had him, and like we said a little bit ago, had that knee landed flush, that could have been the fight right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that string of combinations was beautiful. I mean, that's vintage Aldo.
Yeah, it really is. And so like when Max started picking up in the second round, when he was finding his range, he was landing that 1-2, and then after he started finding his timing with the 1-2, then you saw those like blessed combos coming in, where he starts like really pouring on the pressure, because like he's almost kind of like a Diaz brother in the way of his volume, except the Diaz brothers just like pepper you with like not powerful shots. Max puts in a lot of power in those combinations,
Yeah, and he keeps that pace up. Well, and actually, the thing that I like about him so much is that he gets stronger as the fight goes on. You know, like, for Max, this was a perfect matchup for him, whereas Jose starts off strong and ends weaker. I mean, it's just perfect. You get through those first couple rounds, and the fight is essentially yours. I mean, it's like you look at, and I know it was a while ago before Jose did, like, a lot of physical changes, like slimming down a little bit because he was gassing out a lot worse. But I think it was, like, Mark Hominick, or, like, the last round in that fight, like, he basically just laid there and just got his ass beat, got this huge hematoma on his head and shit. And I think I want to say it was Mark Hominick, and I might be wrong on that, but it was one of the first fights in the UFC, defending his belt. But perfect matchup for him, man. Fucking, God, that was exciting.
You see, like, when we were talking and we were doing the predictions, we're like, man, we were like, yo, we would love to see Max get the finish, but it might just be a 5-round decision. But Max, he finished him before the championship rounds, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And for Max to fucking hit him with that 1-2, boom, 1-2 on the ground, and then the fucking, we've seen Jose Aldo get caught and, like, knocked out real quick, which could happen to anyone, but we've never seen Jose Aldo get fucking dominated like that.
Yeah. Well, and usually when Jose gets dropped or he gets took to the ground in any way, he's so good at just popping right back up. And like, he just, like, Max defended that. Like, he just, like, no, you're staying right there on your back.
You know what? You know what scared me really quick? When fucking, I forget what round it is, but they were fucking throwing hands, and then Jose threw that Chad Mendes knee that barely missed.
Oh, yeah. And then Max dipped right back in like, bitch. Yeah, no, that was close. Like, if that didn't hit him, that just had to have grazed him. Like, yeah, all right.
So, yeah, and I'm happy because of that first round, because of how good Jose was looking, that shows how good Max is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's not really one of those championship fights that, like, you can pull out all these excuses like Jose looked good. It's not like you'd be like, that wasn't the right Jose, or
exactly.
You can't take anything away from it on this one. Like, he earned that. And like we were talking the other day, like, with Conor being stripped of the title, the way they're giving it up, and then it just being handed to Jose, like, it feels like more of a real title now. Now that it's left the hands of Jose, because Max literally did earn that, whereas Jose, I mean, he earned it through whatever in a way, but that didn't have the right championship, like, feel to it,
Exactly.
But now I feel it does now. Like, it's more legitimate in my eyes, at least.
Yeah, man, I 100% agree with you. And, like, especially with it being if it was just like Conor was stripped and Jose was the champ, then maybe it would have been, like, not as bad. But the thing is, we saw Daniel Cormier pull out. We saw them need a main event. Then we saw them put the 3-rounder between Holloway Pettis into a 5-round interim. So, and then that really just kind of was like, oh, you don't even really want Jose to be the champ. You're just doing it because you have to, because of the situation.
Yeah.
And with Max now, like, I was saying, like, when we were talking, I was like, man, I want Max to win, because if he wins, then it's like the official changing of guard at featherweight. Now you have the new fucking reigning king. And honestly, I see Max beating most of the guys in the division. I see him holding on to that belt.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it actually sets up a couple pretty potential exciting fights as well. With obviously Frankie, he's right in the mix, and Cub's right in there too. So
in the did you see the fucking Max Holloway's post-fight interview, and when Cub Swanson was interviewing him?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, boy, you can get some too. You already have it. You can get it again.
Dude, that's why I was like, yo, Max Holloway is the shit. He's like...
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of thing, like, talking shit like that, like, all these guys, like, Kevin Lee trying to take the Conor blueprint, like, you don't need the Conor blueprint, like, just go your own way, be yourself, and just say the right things at the right time, and Yeah, Max did it. That was perfect. Yeah, that could go down as like one of those videos of greatest insult type things.
Yeah, and honestly, with Max's age, it's fucking crazy because if you look at, I think him and Cody are the same age. So you have fucking him, you have Cody as a young champion, you have fucking Max as a young champion, you have fucking, John Jones is a young guy. So you have a lot of younger, really young champions, like the new generation now. So like we could possibly be seeing like how all like Aldo when he fucking just like knocked out Cub and he was getting hype, you know what I mean? Like we could be seeing like the start of a legacy right now at Max.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's definitely, dude, he's, what is he, 25 or is he 26? But he's going to be around,
Yeah.
Just think of when he hits his prime in, early 30s, if he has the belt, that's 5 years that he has the belt and he's just dominant. And then that's when he's actually going to be getting into his, physical peak.
Yeah. And it's fucking crazy to think because like, it's fucking, because like Max Holloway he's a year older than me. So it's like, dude, this kid is fucking like basically my age, like a little bit older, and he's fucking world champion. Like that shit is crazy.
It is.
And the fact that, my bad, what were you saying?
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because you see people like him and Tony Ferguson just get on these crazy fucking win streaks, and like they don't have a hype train behind them. They fucking put in that work to develop fans,
Yeah.
And then like you're like, all right, so are they gonna? And then they always have problems getting title shots. They always have problems getting it. Like Tony Ferguson right now. I feel like Tony Ferguson should have already had that moment, like how Max had it.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that.
Yeah, so it's cool when you see them actually get it and fucking become that champion. So you're like, you see when Max got that interim champ, I was really happy for him and I was excited to see this matchup, but I was like, he took out Pettis and Pettis' only win was like Oliveira in that division, but like now he took out Jose Aldo. He took out he fucking outclassed the greatest featherweight. So
yeah,
Max Holloway might be the fucking greatest featherweight right now.
Dude, he's definitely in the argument. I mean, how could you deny that? Look at the win streak he's on, and he's not just fighting nobody. Like, dude, he's got wins over Jeremy Stevens. He's got Cub Swanson.
Mm-hmm.
God, I can't list them off right now. I tried, whatever, but God, it's a who's who.
Yeah.
Every one of those fights is a goddamn. And I wonder with Tony Ferguson if like some of that's just like, I don't know, like just how he can be so cringy sometimes. Like,
yeah,
it's hard to, I don't know.
And honestly, that's a fucking super fight I would like to see down the line because they're basically the same people. Holloway versus Ferguson for the fucking 55 belt, like down the line, that'd be really like a nice fight. You know what I'm saying? Like on paper, matchup wise.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder if like what we're seeing here with like these young lions coming in just dominating the way that they are is, how this new breed of MMA is coming in with like they don't have just like their base of striking or base of wrestling, but they come in just everything, they learn it all at the same time, where they're just progressing, everything, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And it's just a more complete fighter. Like Rory McDonald's a perfect example, but those guys that are coming up that maybe started training when they were 12, but they learned everything at once, so they can take the fight anywhere. They're strong everywhere. And I don't know, I think that's what we're seeing. And, in like the next 10 years, can you just imagine like how high level and crazy the fights are going to get, with the kids who are just starting out now,
Yeah, you're totally right. Like what you're saying is 100% right because no one is like a specialist anymore. Everyone is mixed martial artists. You don't have one person like that's just training jiu-jitsu and then like 30 years later, he starts training everything. They start everything off at once, and I feel like we're gonna see like just a bunch of Yair Rodriguez's with fucking Showtime kicks happening all the time and shit. Like, it's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, like crazy fucking like somersault kicks and shit. Like Tony Ferguson style shit. Yeah.
Dude, like,
it's exciting.
It's fucking crazy, man. Like, I'm excited for what's going on, especially with, if Jose Aldo would have won, I feel like that would have sucked for the featherweight division, because it's like, all right, same old. It's going to go back to no one talking about it. And then, but now with Max, we're like, man, we have the new reign, and you have, like you were saying, now Frankie could get his title shot, or we could get Cub. We could get so many people. The division is opened up. A Yair Rodriguez Max Holloway fight doesn't sound as crazy as a Jose Yair. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like down.
Oh, go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say was like, yeah. So even if you're looking like the Frankie Edgar Cub Swanson, those are proper matchups. But even if the UFC is looking to plan for the future for Yair, Max is a good, matchup, like a good champion, because it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and I'd like to see, like if you want to compare it to like Aldo to Anderson Silva. Mm-hmm. Like now Aldo can go out and fight some of these other guys, that probably would have never matched up before because he was a champion. But now we're going to see those matchups. But what I really don't want to see is him do like a 3 fight in a row losing streak or some shit, Like, I think that his legacy is already kind of stung by the Conor thing, that if he were to have something like that happen, it's just going to do it in. Or like, he's a guy that's really going to need to leave on a high note.
You see, I don't know what happens to Jose Aldo from here, because when you look at it, Jose, after Conor, he turned into a new person with all that bitching because he felt like, oh, that was a fluke, I want that back, and yada, yada, yada. So we saw a different side of Jose. But now he really can't play that dynamic because he legitimately got beat the fuck up. He may argue the stoppage, but nobody's mad at that. And I feel like I don't know, he can't go much. He could either retire, he could either go back to how he was, like, oh, fuck the UFC, I want to be released, da 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 da, or like, we might just see like Aldo kind of go into a losing streak, into obscurity, kind of like a Henan Barrow. Like, they're talking like, oh, he's the fucking king, he's the pound for pound great, and then once he gets dethroned, like, shit, no one even talks about Henan Barrow anymore.
Yeah, it's almost like something mental happens, where they lose that edge. I don't know. It's just crazy. Past fighters who have been so dominant, once they get that first L and that code's cracked, it's like Liddell's a perfect example. Yeah. He just, once that code was cracked, man, it's like either people weren't scared or they just knew, whatever it was. Maybe it was mental in his head. But I'd hate to see that because I told you I'm a fan of Aldo. But last time I'm a fan of Aldo. I've been a fan of Aldo for years, but I'm not disappointed at all how that ended. Like I said, man, I'm not going to be disappointed no matter how it goes.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, I'm pumped because I was rooting for Max. I wanted Max to win, and like, when he started pouring it on, like, I was flipping shit. So now we have, I feel like now it's kind of like, all right, the UFC is on its way back to being fixed. It's only a matter of time, because now you kind of have featherweight straightened out a bit. Now you have it unified, and now you just have fucking lightweight and middleweight gone to shit. So welterweight, if GSP comes back to welterweight, that's fine, because that's where he vacated. But you could, once this is, so now featherweight is fixed, fucking, let's see what happens with middleweight and lightweight. And with lightweight, man, I don't see them I don't see shit getting unified till like 2018, like even later. You know what I mean? Like late 2018 with this Mayweather bullshit going on. Like,
yeah, well, with this Mayweather shit going on, I think it's going to get to a time limit point where, how long boxing matches can drag out trying to negotiate that shit?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like, dude, either you need to book a fight or vacate your title. If you're going to be waiting on the Mayweather thing, because that like that could take a couple of years realistically. Once they actually start into negotiations. But I think the only thing that would actually speed it up is that Connor's side is not really going to give a fuck about the glove size. He's not going to give a fuck about what the mat is or the ring size or all that. I don't think he's going to care about that. He just pick whatever the fuck you want and let's go get it done. I think that. I don't know. So like, I guess you mentioned something about the Aldo stoppage. Like he might complain about that. Like, in my opinion, I don't think there's anything to complain about. Like, I'm sure that if you went through and counted how many punches, he was just sitting there and really not. I mean, he had his arms up and he was blocking, but he's not. They don't consider that intelligently defending yourself. Like, you might have a point if maybe there's 10 seconds left in the round, you could, the championship fight, let it go. But there's like 30 seconds left, and what is he going to do? He's not going to quit swinging on you. You're not making any attempts to get up or stand up, or you're just going to maintain this till the round's over. Like, they can't let you do that.
Yeah. And fucking Max was just like at that point just fucking beating he was just rattling his brain in his head, like, that's all that was happening at that point. Jose was done. He had his hooks in, he had his back, and he was postured up, and there was nothing Jose could have done.
Yeah, and he goes to stand up, Max gets a rear naked choke.
Yeah.
The one way or the other, the reality is that fight was really finished there. And Max knew it, and that's why he wasn't letting up. It's not similar to, it's different than, what is it, ENC
Medeiros? Yeah.
Yeah, like, I could see how that one could have gone a little bit longer, but at the same time, like, what's he going to do then? Start throwing elbows?
Yeah,
like, that guy was on Queer Street. Dude, he was flatlined, Yeah. Like, I understand that, like, but that wasn't even like him consciously sitting up and defending himself. Like, that's autopilot.
Yeah. Oh, and
I think it was a good stoppage. And anyways, dude, fuck Eric Silva. He's a cheap fucking dick anyways.
Exactly, fuck that guy. But you want to know something? You want to know something funny?
Yeah.
I was watching the Claudia Carolina fight, and I fucking literally blinked and I missed the submission.
No shit.
Yeah, I saw like Claudia have her back, and I'm not even bullshitting you. Like, I just blinked, and they're like, "Oh, she got it, she tapped." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I didn't even see that shit go under the neck. Like,
yeah. Oh man, it was quick, and like it looked like she just overwhelmed her. Like, Claudia just had a higher speed, and Carolina was just trying to like stay with that speed, and Claudia was just a step ahead. And she just never did quite catch up to her speed, or catch up to where she was in the fight.
I feel like if there's if they open a women's flyweight, then that fight definitely helped Claudia. But if Claudia doesn't plan on fucking moving up, then like she just really kind of just killed off a contender, because I don't see them doing a trilogy with them, with Claudia JJ. So what do you do?
Yeah, that's a hard sell. That's really tough to try to sell a third fight.
Because I have Claudia, if she fights Rose, I have Claudia beating Rose too.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially after like last night, she performed like, god damn, dude, she was solid.
Yeah. She was a monster. Like, that shit happened so fast.
Carolina never got a chance to even show up.
At all. And
that's like you said before. I mean, that's like classic woman Vitor.
yeah, that's fucking. And I think like something about the Brazilian crowd really was like motivating all the Brazilian fighters, you know, besides
Yeah.
Jose. But fucking Jose, he looked fucking shredded. Like pre-USADA Jose. Not saying he did anything, but like old school Jose, he had like abs that were basically fucking coming to punch you in the face. This time, his abs were looking like how they used to, you know? Like, the past few fights, he was looking a little soft, but this time, dude, his abs were fucking, like, marble. Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
I absolutely agree with that. He looked like he was, like, pumped up, like he was plump, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he was, like, right on that verge of inflation being ready to pop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man. Maybe Brazil.
Maybe the commissions. Yeah, you never know, man. And
but Vitor wasn't Vitor, so
yeah, he was looking flabby.
Man, yeah, I don't know,
dude.
That one could have gone either way. I wouldn't have been surprised either way.
It was so funny. I was watching it with my friend that doesn't usually watch fights. So, like, I'm telling him about Vitor Belfort. I'm like, yeah, dude, this guy's a beast. Like, he used to be, like, the light heavyweight champion, like, armbarred and snapped John Jones' hand and shit. Like, just going through the resume. And I'm like, yeah, dude, he used to do TRT, and, like, he was a fucking monster. And then my friend was like, oh, yeah, dude, I could see that. He's looking real flabby right now. And then, like, that shit is fucking crazy. Because I remember when, like, Vitor would be sitting in the crowd when someone's fighting, and they cut to just, like, his face, and I'm like, yo, like, he's a legitimately scary human being when he was on TRT.
Dude, he's fucking chiseled. Like, it's like they just straight up chiseled him out of stone.
And then now, like, that fight was so, like, fucking lackluster and boring, and it was like, man...
Yeah, it pretty much was a shitty fight. Well, and dude, so was I was extremely. I guess I don't want to say disappointed, but it was not what I expected. The Happy Sunset Marlon Moraes.
Yeah, I was like bummed out, man. Like that was. I mean, I feel like what we said in the before the fight is true. Like he was a fucking little Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
Like, nothing more, nothing less. He was a little Eddie Alvarez. He was too tentative to really get off what he needed to. In the end, he kind of opened up a bit, like getting a little flashy, but it was too little too late. It was over.
Yeah. I personally don't like when people do that.
Yeah.
Because generally, that like I've seen so many times that people laid it on in the last 15 seconds and they hurt the person. It's like, fuck, how'd you done that? I know the conditions aren't always the same and everything, but like you pour it on in the last 15 seconds. It's like, dude, come on, man. That's like almost insult to the to the audience.
I know. And like being just a fighter, you should know fucking you're not trying to go to decision, especially in a close fight in fucking Brazil against the Brazilian.
Yeah.
That's like saying, "Oh, I'm not going to finish Michael Bisping in fucking the UK and expect to get the nod."
Right.
It's not going to happen.
And maybe that's how Vitor got the nod.
Yeah.
That could have easily been a draw.
Yeah,
like they both hurt each other about the same amount. I mean, it was a pretty even fight.
Yeah.
God, who's that one guy? I can't even say his name, so I don't know, butcher it however I can, but Barbosa, Barbosa, whatever.
Oh, yeah, Oluwale or whatever.
Fucker. Yeah.
Dude, he fucking came out like a fucking rabies beast that just did a line of cocaine.
Dude, he busted his nut before he stepped in the octagon.
Bro, busted his nut all over and then just fell asleep.
That's exactly what happened.
Bro, he was fucking like pacing back and forth, and then like he was trying to do like, you know how Joanna moves like left to right before she picks? And then this motherfucker did that for like 2 minutes, and then it was done. He was gassed out and got his ass whooped. It was like, man.
Well, was talking to my dad this morning about the fights. He was asking me who won and stuff, and because he made a mention about Max Holloway. He's like, God damn, if you look at the guy, I mean, he doesn't look like anything. I was like, yeah, but if you look at it, like, those guys that are generally, like, really huge and muscle-bound, those guys do really good and early on in the fights, but then, you know, a lot of times those guys don't go on, because once people figure that out, then they know how to beat them. Yeah. So really the guys that do better are the guys who are built like that, like a John Jones, Max Holloway, you know, those type of body builds really do good. Gustafson's another one.
Yeah.
And like the long, lanky, but really toned, strong guys, you know? The guys that are stronger than they look.
Yeah.
They just look like string beans, but fuck are they killers.
Yeah, it's that pressure and that pace that just breaks people. Yeah, and fucking, it's insane, because when you look at how Max Holloway fucking got, and real quick before I even get into that, just fucking do an event in Hawaii, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I'm tired of Max Holloway saying UFC Hawaii and they're not doing shit. After he had that fight with Ricardo Lamas at 199, he was like, oh, let's go. I want UFC Hawaii right now. UFC Hawaii. And like over a year, he's saying the same thing.
Yeah, like, I wonder though if it's, you know, small island, like, if they had a show there, could they really fill it? I mean, maybe they could. You know, I'm sure they'd probably fill up the arena and everything. I'm sure it probably wouldn't be a problem, but maybe that's the kind of ideas. Are we going to be able to sell out the venue if we're in Hawaii with the, you know? Yeah. But I'd assume that they would, just because the fact that I would assume that the Hawaiians would really get behind, you know, like BJ Penn, or put BJ on the card too. Make Legends League TRT BJ Penn.
He just comes in fucking shredded.
Jumps in the octagon doing a backflip.
They should really have the TRT championships. Just everyone fucking roided to the gills.
Bring Brock back.
just say fuck weight classes. Everyone does steroids and just like a battle royale.
Oh, dude, could you imagine Mark Hunt all TRT'd out? Just fucking coming shredded.
Imagine TRT Mark Hunt versus TRT Roy Nelson.
Oh my God, could you imagine Roy Nelson with muscle tone? Oh, fuck. Maybe like watermelons bouncing off the canvas.
I know.
I don't know. I hope that Legends League picks up some steam.
You know, I don't want to see the Legends League unless like they operate by Japanese commission rules. You know what I mean?
I agree completely. Yes. Like, why make some rules, like, you know, like the outlines for who's like the requirements for the Legends League, like maybe it's 40 and over, whatever the requirements are. But if you meet those requirements, and then if you go into the Legends League, there's no going back down. You know, so you can be on TRT and all that, whatever, in the Legends League within a certain amount, like still regulate it, you know, but let them have that shit. You know, these are some of the greatest talents that we've ever seen, and just, if they're still wanting to go, let them go. You know,
that's what I'm saying. But you know, I think it'll hurt the UFC brand too much if they do it. I feel like it would help it, but I don't know if they would go for it. I could see Ryzen trying to pull it and then basically fucking trying to do what Bellator did by taking all the names. But if Ryzen allows like people to, I mean, Ryzen is going to allow people to juice. Ryzen could really be the only promotion to pull it off, I think.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't know, maybe the UFC could, just because the kind of crazy shit they're doing anymore.
Yeah, I hope so.
I guess I wouldn't think. I guess I personally wouldn't think that it hurt their brand. I mean, I don't know. If you're gonna go out there and do a 145 woman's 145 shit show like you did, and you're not worried about that hurting your brand, how could a Legends League that actually had like a real following and a really like desire to see it by the fans, how's that gonna hurt it more than this 45 shit show?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. So Vitor is actually. He's like trying to come up with like fucking rule sets and shit like that. So if anyone's gonna get it done, it might be him, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think that like maybe there's more going behind the scenes than we actually know, because like with this, slip news that Liddell's talking about fighting, Matt Hughes talking about fighting, maybe they're kind of just getting the idea out there, like, hey, if we can get this going, are you guys interested in this? Or
yeah, just gauge interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but fucking that shit was
TRT Silva. Get the spider back on TRT.
I would honestly, I think TRT Silva might be the GOAT. Like, period. I feel like TRT Silva could beat TRT Brock Lesnar.
Dude, you might have a thing there. Because, that... God, I just have that picture in my head.
Legends League, baby. Legends League. This shit could all go down in the Legends League. Let's go.
That's what, the problem is that maybe like if you open that up and allowed, the Japanese rules, there might not have any fights in the regular divisions.
I know, everyone just goes to Legends League. Fucking. You got Dick Pill John Jones going over to Legends League, and then like.
Oh fuck, that'd be good.
Oh man. But yeah, dude, fucking young Max Holloway, the new featherweight king. Shit is crazy.
Dude, it is. Do you think that opens up anything for a rematch between him and McGregor down the line?
Yep, I definitely think it does, because no one wants to, like, when people try to say, oh, Aldo McGregor rematch, people was like 13 seconds. What's the point? He can't do any better. Honestly, Max Holloway was the only person before Nate Diaz to take him to a decision,
Yeah.
And Max Holloway was fucking like what? Like 20 something? Like 20?
And injured.
Yeah, so like both of them claimed, like Conor said he was injured, Max was injured. Max is a whole different fighter. Let's see it right now. Conor you see, if Conor wants to go back down, get that strap, he can. But if Max goes up, that makes all the sense in the world, too,
Yeah. But at the same time, like, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. My personal opinion, like, so if Max were to go up, it's not that I don't want to see that fighter. I don't think it should happen. I definitely want to and do think it should happen, but at what time? Because that sets Max up for the potential of a double champ, and I know that Conor got the double champ because it's Conor, but like that double champ should be reserved as something special instead of like all these people talk like, oh, I won this belt, now I'm gonna go get this belt. Like there should be requirements for that, like to even be in the consideration of it. Like maybe like a certain number of defenses, and then like there should be a criteria to earn the double champ. Like it shouldn't just be passed out.
Yeah, I feel like there should be a no vacate rule. Like, all right, if you're the double champ, you automatically have to commit to doubling the amount of fights. You have to defend both simultaneously. You can't just grab it and hold divisions up.
I agree with that, because that's the whole problem. And like depending on how this new weight class thing is going to go over, which I hope it does, like
new weight class,
the double champ's going to be regular, and then maybe it's going to be triple champ would be
quadruple.
The
Yeah. Because now they're going to be having like fucking like cruiserweight and all that shit. So you're gonna have your lighter heavyweights being able to get a strap. You're gonna have the 205ers able to go up, and you're just gonna have a lot of people with belts.
Yeah, and I know that Joe Rogan's been a Joe Hogan has been a huge advocate. Has been a big advocate of this for a long time, and I agree with his points on it. Because if you're going to put two guys at the same weight and to see who's better, having weight cutting creates an even playing field. Because now it comes down to who can cut the most weight and still be the bigger guy and have that little extra advantage. Yeah. You're not technically still 145 pounds. Because like last night when those two fought, there wasn't one fucking person in that octagon that weighed 145 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's technically not a 145 pound title, or
I know.
If you judge this off of like hydration levels and healthy weight, then now you truly are the same weight, and who really is the best at this size.
Yeah.
I think you get better matchups out of it.
No, I agree, and better performances with that.
Way better performances. Mm-hmm. You're going to see a lot less guys gassing out, and they're just going to be stronger. You'll probably see more knockouts.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like the sport's young still, and they're now like really making efforts to kind of work out the kinks. So I feel like we're gonna have like a bit of a fucked up period where they try to figure things out. But I feel like once they figure it out, it should be good for a while.
Yeah, well, and you make a good point, because the reality of it is that it's still very young. Like the UFC, like, okay, what is it, 15, 20 years? That's very young, because it's literally just becoming mainstream accepted within like the last 5 years or so. Like Ronda was really the first person to really get like mainstream traction. Yep. And you got to give it 20 years. It's really still got so many kinks and bugs to work out. Like they're really still learning things by the process of it. Having these fights. Oh, fuck, this didn't work. Like it's always something new. Yeah,
I mean, look at UFC fucking 1. You could pull people's hair, bite people, and all this shit. Like.
Yeah, and like now they have this new rule change, and like last night they weren't using the unified rules, so that's still a confusing shit show. You've had a couple fights stop because of confusion based off of that. And
yeah, they need to fix that shit quick, because it's getting to be every show there's something with the rule set. There's some controversy.
And it's shaping out like it's just not being learned.
Yeah.
Like we're not learning from these mistakes. The same shit just keeps on happening.
And now, go ahead, my bad.
I was gonna just say, like, in my opinion, they just either need to everybody on the same rules or nobody. Like just changing rules from state to state. It's not only confusing to the fighters, it's confusing to the refs, the promotion, the fans.
Everyone.
I mean, everyone.
And now it gives more people like leeway to cheat, because they could be like, "Oh, I was confused. I didn't." You see, Eddie Alvarez, bro, he knew.
I don't believe that was fucking an accident.
He knew exactly what the fuck he was doing when he threw those knees. He knew exactly.
You're in that position, like when you're hunched over like that, especially at the height that Eddie Alvarez is, he's what, like 5'8" on his good day. Like when he's leaning over like that, like against a taller person like Poirier, there's no way that there's no way he's not making points of contact.
Yeah.
And like anytime, let's say the last 5 years before this rule change, nobody would have thrown that knee like that. Mm-hmm. At least not to the head. They might have thrown it to the midsection, to the leg, whatever, but that would not have been directed to the head. That was out of frustration, thinking he could get away with it.
And then in the end, when they asked him about it, he's like, "Oh, it's a fight. I'm in a fist fight." Like, bitch, like, there's rules to this, You're not on the street. You signed up for it, so you know the rules. Like,
yeah.
He was at a fucking impasse with his career after getting fucking destroyed by Conor, and he was like, "I can't get clipped up by Poirier. Fuck it. I'd rather have it end this way than that way."
No, I agree, but I like, honestly, like, what's the worst thing? Having to end that way or losing by a TKO knockout decision?
Exactly.
And anyway, like, you'd have been better off taking the L in that way than this way. Have a rematch, because I guarantee that Poirier would knock your fucking block again.
Yep. And you know, before he got the Dustin fight, he was like, "Oh, you know, I want Nate or I want Tony." And then he was like, "Oh," and then they announced the Dustin fight, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think I would fall that down the rankings to fight Dustin, but like it is what it is." And then to say that and then get clipped the fuck up by that guy.
Dude, I don't think that, like, I know that Diaz and Alvarez don't like each other, but what's the point of having that fight? Diaz will smoke him.
I know. You see, when Alvarez fought Pettis the way he did, I was like, I don't know about this guy. And then when he did RDA, I was like, all right, so Eddie's kind of coming like old Eddie. And then after MSG, I was like, yo, fuck Eddie.
I don't even think that him beating Dos Anjos is more of him beating Dos Anjos than Dos Anjos kind of beating himself.
Yeah.
I think that like 9 times out of 10, Dos Anjos is gonna win that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And like he did in my eyes, he didn't show up as the real Dos Anjos that night.
Yeah. That's fucking.
But then again, when Eddie gets his momentum, he's a hard fucking guy to stop.
Yeah.
Like, he's where he is for a reason, so you can't really take that away from him, but...
I agree.
I think he's a 45er.
Yeah. I mean, he's already, like, shredded at 55. I don't even know if he can make that weight.
Maybe not. That's a good point. But he's just such a short guy. Like, I think that, like, he's strong enough and he's good enough that he can be competitive at 55. Mm-hmm. Whereas at 45, he'd probably be a force.
Yeah. It's crazy and then that plays into the whole weight class discussion we're having. You know, where do people fit in better?
Yeah. I think the next, like, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see, though, because, like, and I have not looked into this weight class thing all too much at all, just, you know, a couple bits and pieces here and there, but if it's anything like the unified rules where it's, you know, only in certain locations, you can't, that'll be a shit show. Yeah. Like, that would be the worst thing to happen.
That might like be a sport killer in a way, you know, like it might kind of fuck it up how boxing got fucked up.
Yeah, because then it's going to get so confusing. It's already going to get confusing adding all these weight classes. There's going to be a learning curve on that of like just learning all the new weight classes, the names of those weight classes, what fighters fall where, you know, like. That alone is just going to be a shit show, and if they don't have it everywhere, man, it's going to fucking fall apart.
Did you know, technically, when Joanna defended her title in Texas, the Texas Commission doesn't acknowledge fucking women's strawweight. So technically, you know, in the Commission's eyes, that division doesn't even exist.
Really?
Yeah, so like that problem that like you brought up is kind of already happening. It happened with Joanna, but like they didn't really, it's all just kind of like a thing on paper, you know? So just everyone get your paperwork together. That's fucking it.
So how does that, like, if they don't consider that a division, then I guess I'm confused of them even sanctioning that.
Same here, man. That's what I'm saying.
They're just a money grab under the table or something?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they would have floated them some money.
That's really odd. That was the first I heard about that. That's strange.
Mm-hmm. I forgot. I either heard it from Joe Hogan or fucking Ariel Helwani, one of them.
Joe Hogan, he's the best. So what do you think's next for Medeiros?
I mean, I say fucking throw him to he's 170, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean maybe give him like maybe give him a top tier guy, you know, maybe see how he does against a Gunnar Nelson or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, or maybe something more favorable of a matchup. You know, someone that might like stand and bang with him. Maybe like a Medeiros stun gun Kim or something like that. You know,
that'd be pretty interesting.
just see where he is in the division, because you might fucking need his stock, as GSP says. His stock needs to be high for the fucking Hawaii card.
Oh yeah.
So
I guess, and then I guess there's a question on where does Marlon go from here, because he needs to win, but it can't be against any slouch either. You know, you got to give him someone respectable. You've really sold something big.
Maybe him versus Aljamain Sterling.
Ooh, the faking Jamaican.
Yeah. Yeah,
that'd be a good one.
Yep. So,
I mean, and that is that like win or loss against, even if he loses up against God, who's he fighting? Henry Barrow?
Yeah.
Is he fighting Barrow?
Yeah, you're right. He's fighting Barrow.
I guess win or lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad.
Because I feel like you can't throw him to any, because I think John Dotson and Jimmy Rivera are fighting. I know Jimmy Rivera has a fight with a top tier guy. I can't remember who, but I feel like you can't throw him to the top 5 of the division. You tried it with Rafael Assunção. It was kind of, I mean, Assunção has been having a lot of those kind of decisions with not much happening. You know, the TJ, the Aljamain, you know. So Assunção he's just going to kind of be a prospect killer, you know, like a gatekeeper killing off a prospect. Yeah, because Marlon should have turned it up and got past him. So if he doesn't get past Assunção, how can you make any argument to give him anyone better? You know, he needs to have big performances against from top 6 to top 10 guys, and then he could work his way back to top 5.
Yeah. Well, and that's like a really interesting thing on guys' debuts. Like, are you better off to go out there and be safe and get the win? Are you better off to go out there and put on a show even with the loss? Mm-hmm. You know, like, it's a gamble, but what's better? Because had he gone out there and thrown hands and just got caught, you know, it's like, that was a hell of a fight. It was going good, but he got caught. Yeah. But now it's like, man, he didn't even show us anything. Like, we still don't know, because he really didn't show up.
Yeah.
Until the last 20 seconds of the fight.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think that hurt him, because, you know, he didn't, no matter what, even, I mean, look at a Dustin Poirier, you know, he's gotten knocked out, he's gotten clipped the fuck up, but he's entertaining, and he gets pushed because he's entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
No matter how you could grind out a win, but if you're boring, the UFC brass does not appreciate that.
No, not at all.
So
well, especially there's quite a bit of hype, you know, around him coming here.
Yeah. I think he shot himself in the foot, because if he opened up a bit, he would have been able to see, all right, he can do that against higher level guys, but he was looking way too tentative, you know. He didn't really open up at all. He didn't show much. I mean, he hung in there, he lost a split decision, but, you know, we're not pumped for that other promotion champion that could be a champion here, you know. We're like, all right, you're good over there, and I'm not impressed with you over here.
Exactly. So that's like in our conversation yesterday, I was trying to explain, like, a lot of times with these guys they do really good, you know, in other organizations, but come over and there's a lot of hype behind them sometimes, you know, and it's basically what just played out last night. Yeah. And it doesn't always happen that way. I mean, listed a couple examples yesterday, Strikeforce, whatever, but that was just like the most unfortunate thing to have happened, you know, and you did it to yourself kind of thing. But there's still those questions though. So there's still Sam. I still have anticipation of his next fight. Like, I'm still excited to see that, just to see, you know, was that kind of a choke under the UFC lights for the first time, or is that just kind of a bad night? You know, because like you've seen his highlights, you know, like you see the potential, but is that just to that level of an opponent? You know, so there's still enough questions to make it interesting, and like, you know, anticipation of seeing his next fights, at least for me. But, you know, like you said, definitely hurt him in the stock market.
And you know what? I feel like I'll reserve judgment on him until the next fight. But like, if Justin Gaethje comes in here against Michael Johnson and he looks like shit, I'm no longer gonna give any benefit of the doubt to any champion coming from a lower promotion. You know?
Yeah. I'm excited about that guy. I was excited about Marlon too, so I hope this guy shows up better. I think maybe that's a better matchup just stylistically between Gaethje and Johnson compared to Sun Tzu, but I don't know. Hearing, you know, like a couple of that guy's interviews and shit, like just his outlook, like, you know, this is the highest level competition. The one thing you can expect is in the next 10 fights, I'm going to get knocked out. But I'm going to fight. Gonna, like, that pumped me up. Like, I'm excited to see that. Like, I'm a fan already. Like,
that's
I like that. I like that attitude.
That's like the toned down version of Nate Diaz. Hey, kill or be killed, motherfucker. Like,
exactly.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah, that's exciting. Is that on 213?
I gotta look.
Or is that 14?
I gotta look at what card that is. I don't even know.
That's kind of the one problem that I personally have is, like, they promote these pay-per-views not on top of each other, but in a way they are on top of each other. So, like, when we had our other phone calls, like, you know, 212 is kind of a stacked card, and it was in a way, but I was picturing 214.
Yeah.
You know, like, the lineup of that is really what I was picturing, you know. So, like, 214, absolutely. And then not saying that this one wasn't, but, like, just to correct myself, like, that, not really what I was thinking.
It was Brazilian stacked, you know. It was stacked for Brazilians.
Yeah, just like the, you know, Glover Gustafsson card was stacked for Switzerland, you know, European, whatever.
Yeah.
Which fucking, dude, Ozdemir. That's exciting.
Yeah, he's getting Jimmy Manuwa next.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting one.
It's like his second fight in the UFC, and he's like third ranked already. It's fucking crazy.
I don't understand that. Do you have any idea why that is?
The shallowness of light heavyweight without John, man. No one is coming into. You see, it's like middleweight when Anderson Silva was there. He was so dominant. No one wanted to go there really. So all the talents in middleweight or in heavyweight, no one's either going up or coming down because they're like, fuck, man, I'm not going to be champion. Why would I go there?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So now you literally have, I mean, like, anybody who's any fucking guy on the roster at 205 could get a top 15 fight, and he might fuck around and just see himself be like top 6 in the rankings out of nowhere. He'll just move up without doing anything because that's the division.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, it's really fast, but I mean, Misha Serkinov, he's still right up there. That guy's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Hey, off subject. Did you see in your comments the Beast wanting to do a phone call?
Oh yeah, I saw that, but like, you see, I never really saw him in the QH2 section. So like, what, he like trolls quick hits 2 or something like that, like.
Yeah, well, he said something in on QH2's comments a while back, and like I clipped him up a little bit, and then he said that, I don't know, I guess you have to look back at the comments if you could find them, but he said in there, I don't know, something really arrogant and shit, but yeah, he's just been trolling fucking QH2's, talking a bunch of shit. I know that QH2's been mentioning him in some of his videos, saying like, hey, you want to have a fucking phone call, motherfucker, let's have a phone call. So I think I said that, like, he's waiting for a phone call,
Yeah.
No, he ain't. I don't know. I think he kind of is. So, the Beast, if you're listening, I think the guy wants a phone call.
Yeah, like I wasn't following that too much, so I didn't really know what's going down with that. But yeah, man, like that'd be. I mean, so much shit is like. I don't. All right, so like, what happened with? Did you see fucking Vegeta's video he put up?
I might have. Nothing that I can say yes for sure, unless you. I mean,
All right, so Vegeta basically put up a video where he stays like he basically just like cock rides quick hits for 4 minutes straight. And then he's like, oh, all you guys that like, he's like, man, Quick Hits is the premier channel. All you got now, how are you going to hate on someone just for going like a different way? How are you going to hate on someone because he never replied to your messages? Which I've never heard anyone say they're mad about that. But he's like, oh, how can you be mad at someone for doing their own thing? If you're doing that, you're a hater. And all you guys are fucking copying Quick Hits. You're doing videos where you're not showing your face. You guys have no personality, and you guys only have like 100 subs and shit. And then like he was fucking like going off and off and off and shit. And then I put like a fucking I commented on there. I was like, listen, like I could understand your point and like respect your point of view and stuff, but like, dude, no one, like, you're saying people are like talking and showing their face, like not showing their face, which is true, but no one was saying they could beat John Jones like fucking Quick Hits was. You know what I mean? No one. And then I just broke down. You're like, you're saying people are getting mad from like the messages, but I'm like, boom. Fucking El Chapo got blocked because of this. C-Level King got blocked because of this. And I was like, yo, how would you feel if Quick Hits went off on your wife and then your rebuttal, you wouldn't call your rebuttal hate, would you? I don't think so. And then like, and I'm like, bro, you're being a fucking hypocrite because you're saying, oh, all you people just hating on Quick Hits because he's doing something different. I was like, bro, I never heard you. I said, I'm the last person to defend Daniel Cormier. But when Quick Hits was barking all that shit about DC, I never once heard you say, oh, he works so hard for your entertainment and puts in hours and hours and hours of work for you. Let him lay and pray if he wants. He was never defending a fighter like that. So when the lens is on Quick Hits, don't be a hypocrite.
Right.
And then, bro, he was like fucking saying like, oh, Quick Hits, like he put in work for you guys. He put in hours and 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 hours of work for the premium content and shit like that. And then I saw like Quick Hits 2 up in the comment section, and dude, he was being like mad respectful. He was like, listen, man, like I never had a problem with the dude, and I was respectful until he started coming to me. So like now it's hashtag fuck the other side and like all that. And then like, so, and then Vegeta's like, oh no, you're cool. I respect everyone. Everyone has their own lane and shit like that, which is like totally contradicting everything he said in the video. And then I don't know what happened. I think he did a chat with MMA Quick Hits over at the bitch Patreon side. I don't know what he said, but bro, I was just watching like one of Quick Hits 2 videos, and then he was like, man, fuck that other guy, fuck Vegeta, fuck Oscar. And I was like, oh shit, Vegeta's on that list now. So I was like, so Vegeta must have went over to Patreon and was probably deep throwing the shit out of him in front of the paid audience. And then like, and then he must have been because you know how you see, I don't even know what the fuck Quick Kids is saying, but he's probably talking so greasy over there to his fan club, and I bet Vegeta just joined in and was like hopping up and down the cock like he usually does. Like,
yeah, I guess that Vegeta, like now that you say that, like I remember Quick Hits 2 saying something about that in his video, and that's the only thing. And I tried seeing if I could find it in like the related videos below or whatever, and like I never could find it, and I never heard the name, but I'm gonna look for that now. But I don't know, man, like the Beast was in his comment saying like, fuck QH2, I'm gonna start QH3, and it's gonna be fucking better than this and all this shit. It's just like, what I said something along the lines of like, that's really the kind of disrespectful thing to just come to this guy's page and like just start talking all this shit, you know, like if you have it like trying to get people to come look at your videos and shit, like this kind of attitude is like something personally like makes me never want to see anything that you have.
Yeah.
And you know, if QH2 is for real when he's saying, you know, if you guys are ready to call, you know, so one of these two needs to make it happen because they're both saying they want to do a phone call.
Yeah.
Make the phone call happen. I mean, let's hear what you guys say. I guess I just don't see like where that guy would be coming from. Like, are you out here defending quick hits, or are you just out here like defending your own side and like I'm gonna come and take you? You know, like I just don't get it. Like, is it just trolling just to sit back starting shit just to create some fucking turmoil, or like what is it?
I honestly, man, like I don't know, because like I've had a few back and forths in the comments, like nothing crazy with people that support quick hits, you know what I mean? Just like, you know, us like giving our opinions of the side. And you know, regardless of whatever I view as like fucking logical explanations, when I try to explain it, they don't feel the same way. So I just kind of feel like they're fans to a fault, you know, like no matter what you say, they're going to support who they like, and that's fine. But you know, I can't understand that side of things, you know what I mean? So we agree to disagree. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a sinking ship, really. Like, you've had your channel up with, I mean, you put work into it, but it's not like you're like hitting the streets or anything, you know,
Yeah.
And you already got what would be over twice as many people as, you know, subs as he does. He's got a pretty small audience.
Yeah.
That's what I just don't get. Like, it just blows my mind why he didn't just move exclusive content to Patreon and keep free shit on YouTube. And then, like, none of this would ever happen. You would have had both sides. And that's what QH2 saying now. Like, they're questioning, was that a copyright thing? And he's just covering all this up and it's a copyright.
Dude, I texted you. Remember when you texted me like, oh, I think his shit is gone? And then like when I looked, the Patreon is still there, but in one of my old accounts, like fucking, it was subbed to Quick Hits. And then when I clicked on the fucking profile, it said this profile has been removed due to copyright. I think his channel fucking got deleted, bro.
Yeah, and that's a very good possibility because, you know, for somebody who's always got a man on deck, when QH2 made the ether, you know he heard that. You know he heard all that shit.
Yeah.
You know that if he didn't, and he at least got people telling him like, hey, dude, they're over here flaming you. And gives him this fake cease and desist and all this shit. But you, like, I don't, as far as I know, nobody's heard a fucking word out of him since. So clearly there's nothing he can do, or he'd be trying to do it.
I know. And you know what, like at this point, man, it's kind of like, you know, the drama is like fun and entertaining, but at this point it's kind of just like, you know, it's like he's gone, fuck him. We're like, the community is still here. Everyone I saw in his comment section, I'm seeing in Quick Hits 2 comment section, my comment section, other channels comment section. The people are still here. The community's still here. He's gone. He, like, fuck that guy, you know? Like, it's we're honestly doing him a favor by like keeping him relevant, you know?
Exactly. And like, you know, like, let's just say in terms of El Chapo, like, so he was blocked, so nobody really could ever talk to that guy, you know, unless it was in a different YouTube channel. And that's a cool motherfucker, man. I like El Chapo.
El Chapo's
and being
the man.
able to hear his story and hearing that shit, like his point of view, like, it really opens eyes to all that shit, you know. And like, you never would have met this guy. You never would have been able to talk MMA with El Chapo. And he knows, I mean, granted, he hasn't followed MMA for very long, but for as long as he has followed it, he knows what he sees.
Exactly.
You know, and he's got a good point of view, and he's interesting to talk to, you know. So like, you just completely cut that out of your channel, you know. And like, that guy has good ideas and shit. And like, how many more people like that did you just cut out of that channel because you didn't, like, you're pulling more bitch shit than anybody.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I've had fucking people talk greasy in the comments, like on some like super disrespectful shit, like, oh, you're a fucking pussy and da 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 da, and like, yo, fuck you, I'm all in quick hits one, and I don't even block those people, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, if you want to so boldly and proudly ride like an anonymous cock, that's you, that's your choice. But I'm gonna fucking give my opinion whenever I want to give my opinion, and you could either agree with it or disagree with it, and it doesn't change my life in any way, you know. So, you know, and the best part is like all the people that are talking like just expressing their opinion. Now he can't police it, dude. He's probably legitimately losing sleep over this shit.
Oh yeah, I bet it really, really affects him. Or like he wouldn't have had a reason to delete it in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, like I find it really weird though. Like, just anybody's gonna come at you personally, like, you know, trying to be like quick hits, because like what you're doing is not like quick hits. Like, you're actually giving like technical breakdowns, and so, you know, like you're not coming at it from a shit talking point of view, and like just trying to, you know, start some sort of drama over however you want to look at it. But you know, you're definitely not the one who's going out there like using the same music, using the same entry and exit lines. You know, using it like basically just doing the same blueprint. You know, like you're doing your own thing. Like you're not the one copying.
Yeah, thank you for that, sir. Yeah, and you know, it's like fucking awesome because like now we got fucking, you know, we have already over at the channel, we have, you know, people we already know, see on like other videos and stuff. Like a lot of people I rock with everyone listening, everyone like commenting and subscribing. So like it feels like mad. It just feels really chill, and like I know that I could talk MMA with people whose MMA opinion I respect. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like me and you fucking have really awesome MMA talks, and like that'll just be like over text over one thing, you know what I mean? So like we could, you know, just everyone in the channel knows what they're talking about, so they're educated fans. Like you have so much knowledge on the shit, you know what I mean? Like when fucking like when you tell me like and like the thing is you tell me like these really cool, fun like stories that I would have no idea about this shit if like we never met and like talked, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's it, dude. I feel the exact same way. And like, just like for me personally, if I'm gonna sit down and watch the fights, you know, like I'm sitting there by myself. But like, and I know it didn't really work out last night, but it's going to. But being able to like sit there and have somebody to converse with, and have, you know, and like actually I was also gonna say is I figured out that if I would use my Bluetooth headset and then I have my phone, I can actually get on YouTube and just pause the live stream, but the comments will keep going, so I can watch it. I can stay in the comments that way. So just being connected like that and being able to see that, and like it's basically like you're hanging out with, I don't know, however many people, 200 people, or maybe there's 50 people in the chat room. Like you're hanging out with 50 some people having a conversation, but you can actually have the conversation. Whereas if you're at a restaurant or something, you're trying to talk over people are drunk, you know, screaming, yelling, but you're actually still able to keep that real conversation going, you know?
I agree with everything you said, brother.
So yeah, I think 213 ought to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, 213 should be good. But yeah, man, fucking, I'm pumped for the fight cards coming up. This shit was good. I gotta go out right now. I gotta do something quick. So you got any last thoughts? Any recaps? Anything like that?
No, not really. I think we pretty well covered it. Just thanks for everybody listening, and like I'm so new to this stuff, so like this is the best way for me to even get out there. I'm still trying to figure out making videos, and whatever, I'll get to it, but I'm not trying to rush anything and just put out some shit, you know, so it'll come. So I just appreciate everybody listening and you giving me time to sit and talk and coordinating, and like, you know, with what you're dealing with last night, trying to get all that shit going and the stress of it and everything, you know, like I really appreciate that. Like,
No.
Wouldn't even be able to do live stream or even have that option, you know, like easy on my side as it is if it wasn't for you. So I can't express the appreciation I have, and I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It already is fun.
No, man, like I appreciate you so much, you know what I mean? Like you came on like early, and like you commented early, you reached out early to collab, and I was down, and we chopped it up like just to see the dynamic. And I mean, I think like we just like called initially to see a few minutes how it went, and like we ended up talking like for an hour or some shit, so like I definitely appreciate you. I appreciate you watching the videos and the talks we have, and your knowledge. And yeah, like when you get stuff up and going, man, everyone right now go subscribe to MMA from the Heartland. And like once he gets his stuff going, man, you're gonna get some great content from him. So everyone fucking be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Much love. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So, again, guys, I want to fucking apologize for the live stream shit not working out. I apologize for not taking enough time beforehand to really work out all the kinks, but I'm going to try the next event, whatever next fights are coming up. Maybe next week I'll try and have it for Hunt Lewis. No promises, but I'm going to try and work out everything for that. If anyone knows any advice, get in the comments, let me know about live streaming and shit. But yeah, man, me and the homie Dan are gonna have a bunch of shit together, so everyone be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, and anybody who's listening to this, just keep it in the back of your head that, like, if for whatever reason you're not able to see the pay-per-view, but you want to stay up to date, throw some headphones on and just tune in to the live chant, the live stream. And our intentions are just to try to keep up to date of what's happening in the fights and keep it entertaining in the meantime. So just keep mind of that, and yeah. That's about it.
All right, Dan, I appreciate the time. I appreciate all the talk and everything, man. And yeah, dude, fucking young Max Holloway with the victory.
Young Max Holloway, congratulations, gentlemen, and yeah, thanks a lot, man. And yeah, we'll be talking.
Yeah, man. So. All right, man. You take it easy, brother.
You too, buddy.
Later. All right, guys. Fucking hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, we'll be coming with some new shit soon. I appreciate all you guys listening, and you already know it's Mastermind MMA.